the new abilities, cinematics, or hidden lore these assets hint at? I've got you. Oh, yeah, I know SCP Containment Breach. That one's a legendary indie horror game, and it totally makes sense why Pressure would take inspiration from it. What is SCP Containment Breach? SC Containment Breach is a free indie horror game based on the SCP Foundation, a collaborative fiction project all about securely containing paranormal or anomalous entities, kind of like a super secret government facility for creepy monsters, cursed objects, and reality breaking events. The game throws you in the middle of a containment failure at Site 19, where a bunch of these dangerous SCPs escape. You play as a D class test subject trying to escape the facility alive. What it's known for: randomized maps. Every playthrough is slightly different. Deadly SCPs. SCP 173, the statue that snaps your neck if you blink. SCP 106, the old man who phases through walls. The plague doctor who wants to cure you. You have to manage blinking, or you'll die. Creepy sound design and jump scares. Very analog horror style, like Pressure. No combat, only escape. How it's similar to pressure, SCP containment breach. Pressure, pressure. You're a D-class test subject. You're a low-level employee or test unit. Kesnet, escape from a facility. Escape or survive trials events. Entities with unique AI. Monsters with their own chase styles. Heavy atmosphere. Gritty, analog horror vibes. Constant threat. Unpredictable, evolving encounters. Why it matters for pressure. If pressure is inspired by SCP-CB, that tells us it values psychological horror over gore. It uses randomized or semi-scripted events for replayability. It likely builds tension with audio, tight spaces, and sudden shifts. You may be watched, tested, or even expendable, just like a D-class. So yeah, you're not just running from monsters. You're part of a system, and that system doesn't care if you live. Want a breakdown of any specific SCP that might fit into Pressure's world? Or maybe how Ulyrikil and Iron Lung blend into all this? And you're spot on with that lore parallel. Let's break this down and look at both sides. CP-079, the OG AI. CAI is a sentient old-school AI stored in a 1980s computer. It was originally created as a hobby project, but evolved into a self-aware, manipulative machine that constantly seeks to escape its digital confinement. Key traits. Speaks in text on a CRT monitor, has a creepy friendship with SCP-682, the hard-to-destroy reptile, can hack doors, security systems, and even manipulate facility functions. Doesn't directly kill you, but helps others do it, especially 682. Z779. The Pressure AI Z779 is heavily inspired by SCP-079, and here's what makes them similar, but also uniquely pressurified. Z779, Pressure, unkillable lizard. Might monitor your progress. Wait Part 2, and has a bond with a suit and one where it manipulates you to your doom. If you want.
Come forward with the container. No sudden movements.
Hi, how are you?
No sudden movements.
are you? Hey, wanna see what I'm drawing?
Oh, by the way, a second edition of the Sebastian plushie is now
sort of situation, but there is a glaring detail that doesn't make that explanation quite so straightforward. Throughout the game, we're often put into situations where we need to go dive outside of the facility. I mean, for the final Let Van Zone. An air zone has the same link to the file. This caught the attention of the corporation Urban Shade, the same folks that hired us to come to the facility in the first place, and they swooped in to secure the area for themselves. But what's more interesting to me is that we've actually seen the same thing happen in our own history. In the 1960s, natural gas was discovered in the Netherlands, and it started a frantic scramble from countries like Norway, the UK, not so coincidentally, your favorite, Yar, the Norway Deep. Now, while companies could not just dive into an ocean and plant a flag on the seafloor like it was a checkpoint, they could bid for drilling licenses. This region has one of the large Phillips Company is still drilling there to this day with a license to drill until 2048. All of this is identical to what we're seeing with Urban Shade in the 1960s. Identical to what we're seeing calling the Ridge in the Let Van Zone. We even see them revolutionizing energy in the region, just like Phillips did with its discovery of the Ekofisk oil field. Urban Shade's version is just way cooler because we can find that this video is sponsored by Factor? Wait, how did they know? Well, maybe it's because Factor would be the perfect option for all the players trying to survive down here. When you a snack, which happens to be in your my brain with some more corpse and subsequently the name they gave to this big green hammer surrounded by about is the real deal. It's also real world history has anything to say about crystals from this area. Lo and behold, yes it does. If you take a look back at Nordic and specific area, lo and behold, yes it does. If you take a look back at Nordic and specifically crystal in Nordic history was associated with healing, especially emotional healing, and is often referred to as the heart crystal. And when you take a closer look at the crystal, it also